Welcome back, guys. So in the last video you learned how to get started with Angular, and if you're new here, my name is Jamie. I'm a senior software engineer, and today we're going to be reviewing Angular once more, but we're going to just dive deep into Angular. So I'm going to create a very simple dummy application on the fly. I didn't even think about this much, but I do know that there's a Disney API that exists that we can use and we can leverage to write an example application here. So that being said, let's get started. So in our previous getting started video, you set up your terminal, you ran the npm run start command, and with that command, you were able to spin up a live development server. So it would look something similar to this. So what we want to do is we want to press Command T and open a new tab within the same directory. So here you'll notice that I am inside of the project directory here. It's very important that you are inside of the project directory. And if for whatever reason you are not inside of that project directory, you're going to want to make sure that you change directories and go into that project directory. Okay, so now that you're here, we're going to start with one command. It's called the nggm command, and nggm, what it does is it generates a new module. So in this module, we are going to call it the Disney module, and I will keep it like this in lowercase. This is the Disney module. So if I press enter, what it's doing is it's actually generating a module TypeScript file inside of the source app Disney folder. Okay, so if I come here to my IDE, you'll notice there's a Disney folder that was created for us. And inside of that Disney folder, there is a Disney module. Okay, so this is very important because this is where our application logic is going to live. Okay, so inside of this Disney module, it's going to look something like this, which is the bare bones boilerplate code that it generates for us, which is it's cool stuff and it's very important for us in the future, right? So now we want to create a component. So our first component, the way we're going to create it is we are going to say nggc followed by the component name. So let's just call this characters. Characters, just making sure I spelled it correctly. Or I can just call it character. That works too. I'm going to call it character. Keep it singular. So what you'll notice is we created character and it says source app character. So it created all of these files here. Okay. So if we look here, but it didn't create them inside of the Disney folder. So we just made a big mistake. So this is a big no-no. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure all of our stuff is organized. So I am going to right click and delete. Then I'm going to open up this app.module. Make sure I delete the character component from here and delete it from the imports up here. Okay. Now I go back to the terminal. I am going to do nggc followed by Disney, because that's the first thing we want, and then character. Okay. So that is going to create a component that lives inside of the Disney folder. Inside of there is going to say character. Okay, so now you'll see that it generated everything for us. If we come to this Disney folder, now you see the character inside of here. And if you look at the Disney module, it automatically imported the character component inside of here, and it was smart enough to do that. So that's very important stuff. But if we go to this character here, you'll notice we have an HTML, SCSS, a spec.ts, and a TS file. So the HTML, this is where we have all the HTML logic that goes here. And then the character.component.ts, this is what's going to control the JavaScript behind the component, and it separates the HTML from that. So I'll show you guys how to use that shortly. The other file here, it's called the spec file. We're going to stay away from that for the sake of this tutorial, but this, just so you know, is used for us to test the component. Okay, so oftentimes you're going to want to write unit tests, and you're going to want to test to make sure that everything is working as expected. You would do that here. And then finally the SCSS file. So if you want to keep your CSS specific to this component, you would write it here inside of this file. Great. So now you guys have a quick overview of how to set up a new module and how to create a new component. So next up, we're going to learn how to route this component and be able to navigate from page to page in our application. As always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch the next video so you can learn more about Angular and see how all of this comes together. Thanks for watching, guys.